have to wait a little longer for their return to the skies. Several carriers, including Philippine Airlines, extend flight cancellations to comply with the new quarantine rules. This after the modified enhanced community quarantine takes effect over Metro Manila until the end of the month. So what are the next steps ahead for the new normal? We find out now from Gilbert Santa Maria, the President and COO of Philippine Airlines. Gilbert, thank you so much for joining us. Philippine Airlines had an airport simulation all day today. What will be the new safety measures when passengers depart and arrive?
Well, Rico, thank you for having me. Good evening. Well, Rico, the primary issue is going to be safety. And so we want to ensure the passengers have physical distancing, that there are disinfecting floor mats everywhere that they step, that people are going to be wearing masks, and that our processes are set up so we minimize contact between people. So that's the main focus. And we were looking for problems today and trying to eliminate them before we actually have live flights.
And of course, that is for the operations on the ground. What about on the plane? Will less passengers be accommodated? For example, your A321s have what, about 156 to 180 seats, your 777s, 365 seaters, and A350s, 300 seaters.
Yes, we will actually have fewer people on the flight, mainly because demand is down, but also because we will offer passengers a choice. Some passengers, we will actually allow them to be socially distanced on board the aircraft. Although we are very comfortable and we're very confident that the HEPA filters and the air recycling in the aircraft will dramatically reduce the possibility of infection on board, we will allow passengers to find their comfort zone, and we will give them a choice, including providing sections of the aircraft where we will have one seat, where they will sit one seat apart.
So Gilbert, are you saying then with about what 65 to 70% capacity of the plane only being used, this will mean passengers will be paying higher fares? Let's take a look at some popular routes. Let's say Manila to Singapore or Manila to San Francisco.
Well, passengers may not necessarily be paying higher fares because, for one, fuel prices are down and the fuel surcharge is not going to be charged anymore. On the other hand, being able to feel safe on board is something that some passengers will be willing to pay for, and not everyone can afford to sit in business class. So we'll actually make that option available to some passengers, but then retain the fundamental safety of the aircraft for the bulk of the passengers who fly with us. We anticipate between 65 and 75% load factors as we start building up load and over the rest of this year.
All right. It is a known fact that because of this ECQ, the major carriers in the Philippines are losing a lot of money, and you're one of the hardest hit industries during this pandemic. And the Air Carriers Association of the Philippines is seeking a 50 billion peso credit line from Congress. If the carriers don't get this cash or this credit line from Congress, what will this mean for your operations?
Well, let's look at what the rest of the world is seeing, because it's not just the Philippines affected by this. Already you're seeing major carriers go bankrupt. There are carriers all over the world, in different parts of the world. Today, Boeing CEO just said one major US carrier is likely to go bankrupt. And that is a distinct possibility in the Philippines as well, because we are a very high fixed cost business that's dependent on being able to get passengers into our aircraft and fly them very efficiently. And given that we have no revenues and none of the carriers have revenues, we're in dire straits.
Well, hoping for the best that the Philippine airline carriers will get this lifeline from Congress. And thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word. Gilbert Santa Maria, the President and COO of Philippine Airlines.